Yes, 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 y'all. What's up? What's up? What's up? Peace, 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 people. This is For Black Righteous Folks Home. Today we're gonna showcase Vice President Kamala's concession speech, and also I'm gonna show some clips of people crashing out. It's truly amazing how emotional people have gotten over this election, and they really are acting as if Kamala Harris was going to really do something for them. It's just very laughable. It is ridiculous. I cannot believe it, but it is what it is. I'm going to show her a little bit later because she is so boring and so unauthentic. She's not authentic to anything that she's saying. Again, she was very disrespectful in exiting early from losing, not even addressing her crowd of people that stood by, supported her, walked, hit doors, made calls, made donations, did all these things, argued, bashed, talked shit to Black Americans about what we needed to do. All these different things that they put their neck on the line, crashed out for, were crash dummies for. And the only thing that she could do when the going got rough and she knew that she lost was to jet. So that just goes to show you that she was not really for the people. She was about power. She was about trying to represent the globalists. And I don't want to give her too much air, especially in the beginning, because it's going to take away from this video, because again, I want to keep it more real than the fake and phony. But I'll throw her in midway to let you hear her concession to quitting this, notion of running for president and all that. Let's see, a Kamala supporter has a message for people that voted for Trump. I just want to give you an example of how pathetic these people are, and when they're talking about, it's just very funny. If you could, please like the video, please share the video and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. First video.
Cold look like, not okay.
I'm done crying. My sadness is over. My anger has set in. I am a very petty person, and I am very proud of that. Love it about myself, actually. And so I say this in the most disrespectful way possible. I don't care if you are my family. I don't care if you're my friend. I don't care if we've been friends our entire lives. You can literally go f*** yourself if you voted for Donald Trump. If you are so sad about your groceries being expensive, get a better f***ing paying job. Do better in life. Get a f***ing education. Do something. Because you're f***ing stupid. And I hope you go jump off of a f***ing bridge.
Now, how do we move forward in society with people like this? Now, this is what being in a cult look like. Not okay.
I'm done crying. My sadness is over. My anger has set in.
Again, that's just a little snippet of what's to come with all these crash outs. Where do I begin? There's just so many videos that's illustrating people just cussing people out, demanding that if different things happen to you, they're not going to care. Different TV personality, media personality people are losing their minds. It's just abundantly clear that these people were really cult-minded individuals and that they really thought that Kamala was going to win, but she did not. And I am so happy and elated, relieved that she did not. Now let's look at another snippet of a clip. This is another Black woman who, of course, did a lot for this campaign of Kamala. Like 90% went out and put their neck on the line for Kamala Harris by voting for her. And like 90%, I was one of the ones that did not vote for Kamala. And we're probably about 7% of women that were Black didn't vote for Kamala Harris. But this is one of the ones that really crashed out, looking crazy, talking crazy, and assuming that Trump, again, is so diabolical and we're just done. Just take a listen to this ridiculousness.
We're
I think all women should stop having sex for the next 4 years, in protest and protection of your bodies. As we know, if that little baby inside you gives you any trouble and you need an emergency health care, you're fucked and you're gonna die. I think that is sufficient enough reason to stop having sex. Don't you agree? This vote wasn't a vote for Americans. This vote was for men. And unless we want to become the Handmaid's Tale, then us women need to protest, because this is some buttery bullshit. I'm sorry to the women and minorities who aren't going to get the help that they need in the next 4 years. I'm sorry for the people who are impoverished, who are just going to keep dying from starvation and lack of healthcare and lack of governmental support. People are actually praising this guy, and it's a freaking joke. Look at the states he won. You won't catch me there. You'll catch me in New York City. I'm sorry to all the women who are going to suffer in these bumpkin-ass, small-ass little towns because of this. Reason why I'm a New Yorker and always will be. Fuck Florida. Here we go again.
Yeah, so I don't understand why somebody is really going all out on a limb for assuming that Kamala Harris was really going to do something. Really putting an emphasis on, how bad and fucked up we are for choosing Trump. And again, they're wrong. We saved them from themselves. We, as voters that voted the popular vote for Trump, saved the dumb birds of our society from themselves. And they really don't get that part. They really don't understand how really bad off America would have been with Kamala Harris. Is a very scary thought. It's the scariest nightmare that I can imagine. But that nightmare now is being relieved by Trump. I'm sure that a lot of people are going to crash out more and more, but this is kind of extreme what I'm about to show you about crashing out. I'm going to show you this video and then come to the chat room and see what you guys have to say. Do you feel like it's overboard with what people are saying and how they're acting? Let me know if you would have acted this way if Trump would have lost. Tell me in the chat room how you feel about this ridiculousness right here.
I'm sorry. No. Why? Do you really hate me that bad? We have literally lost the plot. We have lost the plot. I just woke back up. What the f*** is going on? America, y'all dead ass. Come on, bro. What are we about to do?
Votes at this, and that means he needs 23 more. Pennsylvania has 19 electoral votes. Michigan.
I've been crying in my room for the past hour. For the past fucking hour. And people saying, oh, but New York is blue, New York is blue. I don't give a New York is blue. Like, the fact that this man is a president now. Breaking me and my parents apart because they just don't get it, and they don't get that they voted for someone who's gonna make my friends' lives hell. My life's okay. I'm a white woman, but my friends are not gonna be okay. Which means that somehow he has once again officially won the presidency. I see the hate that this world harbors towards women, towards LGBTQ+, towards people of color, towards everyone who is not this mold. Today, this country has proven to us that they hate women, people of color, LGBTQ+ members, everyone else more than they hate a literal
Again, the policies and the theologies or ideologies of Democrats is too far radical left for America to really make sense of itself anymore. There had to be some reining in of all the stuff that's going on wrong, because it is really getting reckless out here and to the point of no return. This is why someone like Trump needs to come back and fix this. And people like her is oblivious to how bad off our society has gone and is going and what direction is going into. It is truly amazing. I remember being this young, but I wasn't this stupid and this lack of stability in my emotions as far as thinking about, a candidate in such a way, such as a Harris. I cannot imagine a chameleon such as Kamala Harris as being anything of any importance for me to be crying and acting a fool over, getting all emotional and just talking crazy, looking crazy. I could not imagine, but this is what we got going on. But again, we saved y'all from yourselves. Y'all would appreciate us as time goes on after Trump gets in, and you will see the manifestations of all the things that he's been saying to us boldly and clearly about what is happening at the border, what is happening with these migrants. They're still on their way. He has to gather them all up and take them right back where they come from so that we can have some sanity in America. And that's what has to happen. But these liberal nut jobs just can't really understand what is going on with this win of Trump. Let's go.
Who has committed schmishmal. That is how much hatred they harbor for women. And I feel that things are not going to get better. This is not moving.
People keep on saying that he is guilty of raping. I don't know that to be true. It's hearsay as far as I'm concerned, but people are acting as if since it was claimed that it is so. And that's not really fair because he did not go to court for that. So I would not try to pin that on somebody that I don't know for certain if that's true or not. But again, it's really easy to put a stain on somebody just by repeating something over and over and over again. And then it becomes true in the minds and hearts of many people. And that's why a lot of people really hated Trump. A lot of women really hated Trump. They were targeting the minds of women, talking about abortion, using emotionalism on them, saying that your body, you won't have no control over if the likes of Trump gets in office. And that's just not true. They could not hear him say, look, there are 3 parts of why a person would or could get abortion in my mind. If you were raped, if you had been molested, or if your health was in jeopardy. But they don't hear that part. They only want to hear there's going to be some provisions for you being responsible for your own body and choices in your life. They don't think that women should be held to no standard, no quality of thought, no nothing. Just we want to have the liberties of doing whatever, however we want. That type of mindset cannot be allowed to expand beyond the boundaries of reason. And so I'm so glad that Trump is now going to straighten out some of the shenanigans that has been going on in America to set things back on the right track. But someone like her, again, is oblivious, thinking about all the times that Harris talked about abortion, talking about women's rights, them getting in a frenzy of thought, thinking about losing rights, which I don't think any rights are going to be lost, to be honest. It's just a figment of their imagination because the creation of phobia and fear mongering has been brought to them through the media, through the celebrities, through the people that's been sponsoring Harris and all the other nut jobs that are on social media. Let's go.
In the direction of things becoming better. They have won the presidency, they have won the Senate, and they will probably be winning the House. The GOP will have full control to pass and do whatever they want without being stopped. And we have seen what that means. We have seen their playbooks and their projects and their plans.
Again, that 2025 plan is not his plan Trump is the only candidate that was running for office that has his own mind. He's not controlled by globalists and other entities that are out there. He is a businessman, and he came in. That's not a part of the establishment, which makes it easier for him to do things that others wouldn't be able to do. So this is why Trump needed to be picked over a globalist handler or someone that's being handled by the globalists, such as George Soros, to a Harris. He is free of that, but she's oblivious to this. And this is why we needed to save the likes of her and others, such as this.
Genuinely do believe that we are about to witness the downfall of an entire country.
If you're on the left, you're a Democratic voter. Wakey, wakey. I need to wake you up out of the hypnosis that you're in, that Morning Joe and The View and all of mainstream media has put you in. They're lying to you. Why do you think they keep losing? You think they keep telling you how smart they are and how they're going to deliver you victories. And all they ever do is deliver loss after loss after loss. So Democratic voters, snap out of it. These guys are obvious liars. Fire them all. Fire them all. And if you don't, okay, then keep losing to buffoons, to obvious con men like Donald Trump. Keep losing and losing and losing and never figuring it out. Here, I solved it for you. I figured it out. It's a goddamn corruption. All this stupid donor money, all it's ever done is lead to more losses. So if you don't fire them, you have no one to blame but yourself.
Trying to stay calm today. Woke up this morning. Decided that we were wearing all black today because it is the death of the country as we know it. I have never been so utterly disappointed in a group of people, and I just don't understand. Like, how do you not understand we are under his tax plan? That tariffs will cost us money. That he is a misogynistic, homophobic, racist, bigoted piece of shit who does not care about you. He doesn't. If you die tomorrow, he could give 2 fucks. He could give 2 fucks if you eat, sleep, have a house. He doesn't care. And the fact that you think he does just shows how uneducated and how...
I do think Trump cares about what the future holds for America. I think that he cares about Americans as a whole, as far as acquiring an American dream and a standard of living. That's what I think he really cares about. He put his neck on the line. He could have been killed in this election. He's still willing to put his neck on the line. He's still willing to be in crosshairs of bullets or whatever might be out there to try to get America back to the right way of being. So I don't know why these people are really putting the boogeyman emphasis on Trump when, again, he will self-sacrifice himself before giving up and tapping out and letting America go down the drain. You need somebody that's willing to put their neck on the line for saving our country, because that's how bad off it is gotten. And so despite these Democrat nut jobs, we are willing to help them from the self-destruction, because that's the direction that Democrats were taking us in, a self-destruction mode that we would have been on forever if they would have had it their way this election. That's how bad off we were. And we got spared from that happening by electing Trump. Let's listen.
Ignorant you are.
This is like one of the most unforgettable elections, and I love her. And I don't say I love a lot of people. Y'all know that, because I hate everybody. So this is history, Cardi. I swear to God, my academics. I'm like, I'm sick of you. I'm sick. Get away! Get away from me! Sick of you. I'm sad. I'm really, really sad. I'm really sad.
But I just wanted to say that America failed women tonight.
Right now, I don't even know what to do. I've never hated bread so much in my life until now. Honey, you gonna say, we'll see if you still scream go Trump in the next months. Let's see. There's gonna be so many black men
what I really want to say, because I think the fact that so many people allowed for this man, this raging bigot, this man who has literally taken away people's rights, that they voted for this man because of their lack of education, because of their lack of understanding how the basic branches of government works, because of everything under the sun, misogyny, hatred, but also just stupidity. I am so absolutely infuriated because not only is this man looking like he's going to become president, the fuck Congress is about to be Republican. The fact that I have to clock into work after this, like nothing ever happened, this just made me lose complete faith in this entire country as a whole. Like, it really makes me not want anything to do with this country. So for me to go to work, it's like, why? Like, what is the point in even participating in this damn country at this point? And what's the point? Like, it has literally shown that it does not give a fuck about people like me or like any marginalized community at that.
What I've noticed is that men are just genuinely not as concerned as women and don't quite take our concerns as seriously. And I don't know, that sucks because I met a lot of women tonight who are just genuinely so scared. So yeah.
Women shouldn't have to be scared if they're on their square as far as respecting themselves and protecting themselves. You know what results with having sex. If you want to be reckless, then you just go see a doctor and get things that's going to be done to help protect you from becoming pregnant if that's what you don't want to have happen. But you have to get ahead of things. You cannot be a clueless dimwit that's randomly unselectively just opening up your legs to anybody and expecting to have access to abortions any kind of way. I think that there should be restrictions on how they are getting abortions because that is life. You're murdering babies. You should be more responsible as a grown individual. You know what happens when you lay around with different men. You could get pregnant. So take precautions to help yourself. Have condoms available. Do certain things. Go see the doctor. Be preventative. Be proactive. Do those things. Stop wailing and crying about, being a victim of yourself, that is.
Let me know. I can't do this anymore. I'm literally sick. I'm literally sick to my stomach. What has happened to America? What has happened to democracy? What has happened to freedom? I'm done. This is a message to anyone who follows me. If you voted for Trump, unfollow me and block me. If you didn't vote, unfollow me and block me. The fact that it's this close means I've lost all hope in the American people. Like, it should not be this close. Why would anyone vote for this person? He's so evil. He's so demented. Kamala's not perfect. We all know that. We all know that.
We especially know that part. She ain't perfect and she's not the right one to run America at all. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Thank y'all for coming through. For those that are speaking in the chat room, who have commented and who has liked the video or subscribed, if you could, please go ahead and hit the like button. Also subscribe and share my platform. Ava 2 says, kick them illegal immigrants out. Exactly. They came over here illegally. They know what they're doing is not right, is imploding our economy, and they don't care. Deport them all. And also you said deport her with them too. That's not a bad idea. What's up, Gold Crown? I speak G. Sanity, how are you doing? How are you doing? You said sanity. It is sanity. African Goddess says people worldwide are distressed that Trump won. It's some type of mass hysteria. I don't know why. I really don't get it. It is the best choice out of the two. If she would have made her way in, America would be looking like El Salvador, or Venezuela in about a number of maybe 5 years or 10 years from now. So we couldn't have that happen. Central Intelligence Agency says Trump is good. He is good. CIA. CIA. Interesting. You effed around and we'll find out. Sanity. They are eating the cats and dogs is sanity. Celeste Bradford, actually, it's been talked about with Haitians saying that they actually do eat cats. They don't eat dogs, but they do eat cats traditionally in Haiti. So that wasn't a far-fetched story at all, as you might believe. You said the Americans elected a diaper-wearing felon. Okay, got jokes. All his defenses failed in court. Sherlo says, I don't know how to pronounce your name. What's up, Easy X? How are you doing? You said, you feeling better now? I told you he would win, and he won bigly. I was kind of worried there, Easy X, because I know how the Democrats have been moving and how they are looking to cheat. And if they could have, they would have had all the illegals becoming the numbers to help keep them in power. I'm pretty sure that with the mass deportation that Trump has in mind to do, there's going to be a whole lot of people protesting that, but hopefully he will prevail. In fact, I want to show a video about the mass deportation of him speaking about that, in fact, because that is going to be a big coming up issue whenever he comes in office. It's going to be a whole lot of haters as well that want to do him dirty, try to kill him or whatever like that, because they don't want him to do the mass deportation that he's been talking about. But the reason why mass deportation has to happen is because they are Biden's border policies, for instance, are under fire as app paroles 800,000 migrants into the United States. Here's a video that talks about that. And then I wanted to find this other video talking about him deporting a mass number. But let's take a listen to this. Again, illegal immigration is not meant to be a blessing. It is a hindrance. It's a burden onto the society that has to take and bear all the weight of trying to take care of these people and forgetting about your own. And Trump wants to set the record straight and put America first and have the illegals go back from where they came.
Well, immigration is a top issue among voters, especially in border states like Texas. Recent changes in the Biden administration's policies have resulted in fewer illegal crossings. Yet critics argue that some of those changes could encourage more arrivals. On CBN's Tara Mergener reports from McAllen, Texas.
As the sun sets over the Rio Grande, the Texas-Mexico border appears peaceful. Once the major hotspot for illegal crossings, the situation has changed due to Texas spending billions toward aggressive border enforcement, from barbed wire and floating buoys to the National Guard.
If you cross in Texas, you will be prosecuted.
While illegal immigration is down overall in Texas, the numbers show many migrants are rerouting to other states, often with smugglers, due to Governor Greg Abbott's enhanced border security.
Border officials say that means more crossings in neighboring states like Arizona, New Mexico, and California.
Most of it is cartel. If you pay the cartel to get across, they're taking you up north because it's easier for them.
Biden administration executive orders aimed at streamlining asylum requests have also reduced the number of dangerous crossings and expedited deportations.
I'm announcing actions to bar migrants who cross our southern border unlawfully. Migrants will be restricted from receiving asylum at our southern border unless they seek it after entering through an established lawful process.
In August, 58,000 migrants entered the U.S., down from a record 250,000 in December. That's a 68% drop compared to a year ago.
While the Biden administration touts a recent drop in illegal border crossings, critics argue they don't tell the whole story.
They claim new.
Not only that, so many have already entered in before they did all these adjustments as of late. So it does not mean that it's been controlled and that this is not really a crisis anymore. It is definitely a crisis. And he is the only one that wants to deal with getting rid of this excess of people that have been unvetted, that came over here illegally, and it's got the Democrats really in an uproar. We are listening to MSNBC in a minute to discuss their fears and fear mongering to the American people about what this Trump administration is going to look like in regards to everything that he stands on. I forgot to say for the videos that I show under fair use of 107 of the Copyright Act in 1976, for education, observation, commentary, all the above, for all videos that I've been showing thus far. Let's listen now to MSNBC talk about Americans won't stand for family separation again. So they're already putting it out there that Trump is going to be separating these families that are these illegal immigrants and making it about having them, giving them civil so-called rights and thoughts of that mindset versus them being here illegally and the criminals, which they are. They all are criminals. They are not to be looked upon as being anything but, in my opinion.
Donald Trump has vowed to completely upend the immigration system in this country. His plans would include conducting the largest deportation operation in U.S. history through the use of mass raids, as well as detention camps for undocumented migrants. We could see a return to the inhumane child separation policies from his first administration, which President Biden is still trying to clean up and reunite those families. Trump has also announced that he will not only re-implement his travel ban that focused on Muslim-majority countries, but expand the number of countries that it would cover. Groups like the American Civil Liberties Union, which filed more than 400 legal...
So they're just trying to make it seem like there's not an issue going on with the migrants. There's not many people floating about, millions of them unvetted are already here, that we should not take control over our borders and over the people that's coming into the country. That doesn't make no sense. You have to be able to stop the bleeding and assess how bad it is and where to go first to get these illegals, especially criminals, out first, and work around all of these illegals that are here, unfortunately. And it was produced, this problem, by the Democrats on purpose. They wanted to have all this mayhem and chaos and confusion going on in America. This was brought about with the agenda, with the intention of having this mayhem, such as George Soros, that brought this to mind and to light, of having these open borders and all these people here now. So now that there's a big issue, and Trump is kicking around ideas that he wants to do, this and that and the other, the Democrats are trying to villainize Trump. But you need to be villainizing yourself, because you are the reason why the problem is here in the first place.
Against Trump's first administration have been busy this year preparing plans to respond in case Trump was successful in his presidential bid. And I'm joined now by Lee Gallant, Deputy Director of the ACLU Immigrants' Rights Project. Lee, thank you so much for being here. So let's start with mass deportation. Donald Trump has vowed to use an 18th century law that is on the books still, that would allow him to do it. I think it's the Alien Enemies Act. So that's on the books. Right. How would you stop him?
So we think it would be illegal to use it for immigration. The law is very clear that it has to be a foreign government doing an invasion. That's not what's involved in immigration. So we have been preparing since the winter time.
But it's involving in illegal immigration, because they're illegally passing the border, going over the fence or under the fence or through the fence, or being smuggled in. This is a form of warfare, in my opinion. So I don't know what the Democrats are on, but again, they're wicked. They want to see everybody as already being Americans with rights, such as we have. It does not make sense, but these are the delusional Democrats that's going to be fighting Trump tooth and nail to get back America where it needs to be. They're already strategizing on what they're wanting to do to stop him. This is why the Democrats are wicked, because they have nothing else better to do but to meddle with people trying to get things in order the right way, the way it should have been. We should not allow people bogarting in America and letting them have access to all the monies of the taxpayers to take care of them indefinitely. That can't be. Yet they try to paint these people as being citizens of America already. It's very interesting.
For this challenge, if he actually does go ahead and use it. And so we will say that there's no foreign government attacking us. There's no invasion. These are immigrants looking for safety, looking for a better life. This is not what that was intended to do. This is a law that was used during Japanese internment and only declared wars. It's really unthinkable to try and use it for immigration. Will the courts uphold it?
That's the question.
Exactly. But we will be challenging it.
The way that Donald Trump has characterized the immigration system in the country is an invasion. He's been using that term probably pretty deliberately. He's not some genius. I'm sure that Stephen Miller and other people who are interested in making sure they can do mass deportation have been telling him that's the way to characterize it. They're saying it is an invasion. What makes you think that John Roberts and Samuel Alito and Clarence Thomas wouldn't simply reinterpret the law to say that it means exactly whatever Trump says it means?
Right. So I don't want to predict where the court will go. I mean, I think we all have to be clear-eyed that all these legal battles are going to be tricky. But I think there's a difference, and I think the courts will recognize the difference between his rhetoric on the campaign trail and what the law actually means. And I think the court is sensitive to how a law has been interpreted over time, and it was used in 1812 and the two world wars. Those were declared wars. So I think this is very different. We're going to just remain hopeful that the courts put their foot down on this.
One of the other things that Donald Trump, theoretically could do would be to prosecute people who he feels speak against him in the government.
Right.
Whistleblowers, things like that. It doesn't feel like there'd be a ton of protection there because they're trying to get rid of the civil service protections that currently protect those who work for the government. What would you do about those?
Yeah, I think that's, other people at the ACLU are preparing for that. I think, but we are, from my standpoint, we are worried about non-citizens being targeted for their political speech.
Sure.
And for
Of course they're going to be targeted. They're illegals. Trump has already said you guys are leaving. They should take the warning, take the monies that they are getting before January 20th and go. They have more than enough time to gather all their monies that they're getting from the government thus far and get a ticket and go back to where they came from. As simple as that. The government has plugged them in already with monies that they're getting. Why can't they use that money to make their way back before Trump gets into office January 20th? They have time. The time is ticking. Unfortunately, people want to pressure the issue by trying to make us accept these people here unvetted, unknown, just to come through and supposedly take care of them indefinitely. And this is what the Democrats want us to have to do. We have us bear the burden of taking care of these illegals like it's okay, like it's something that's normal. It's not.
Protesting different policies, and I think just generally what we're hearing from our clients is now they're going to be worried.
We're talking about the pro-Palestinian protesters have already been threatened with deportation.
Right, and so it's the non-citizens, I think, who are entitled to benefits, like the families who were separated under Trump.
Non-citizens are entitled to benefits, he says. Listen to that. Non-citizens are entitled to benefits. This is the mindset of George Soros. This is the mindset of globalists, Marxists. This is the mindset of what we voted against. And this is what we are still going to have to combat against, because they're not going to let up and trying to change what is going on wrong with America. They want to keep it wide open like a barn, letting people just do whatever they want to do, causing so much crime and confusion and mayhem and all kinds of things. He doesn't care about that because these people in his mind are entitled to rights. And we voted to stop this madness from happening. This is what we voted against.
We have a settlement now that allows them to apply for asylum and get other benefits, reunite with their children. We are very worried that they are all going to be attacked for trying to secure those benefits. I think we're looking at things that are going to be really draconian. I just want to pick up on one thing that you all were talking about. The American people, I think, want some reform of immigration. We want some reform of immigration, but I don't think that translates into anything goes. And I think the model for us is family separation. I think that Trump, the first term, thought he had desensitized the American public to immigrants to such an extent that they would go for little children being ripped away from their families. And we saw people take to the streets. I think if we see the military in the streets or family separation again, or any of these really draconian policies, I think people will push back and say, well, wait, that's not what we meant by reforming border policy. And that's going to be,
again, that's what they're angling for, like separation of the family and this and that and the other. But they should have thought about that before they brought their kids over here illegally. Then all of a sudden we're supposed to think about all these things. I say that they should be proactive. If you are illegal, get the monies that you're getting from the government, buy a ticket back to where you came from. Make it easy on your child, make it easy on yourself. Don't be trying to force us to do and deal with you economically. We do not have the resources for all of that. Trump has already said this is what he's going to be targeting first. This is what he said is what is the priority to him. Number one is the immigration issue. So if these illegals hearing what they know to be true about Trump coming back into office and they decide to take a chance irregardless, they're asking for problems. They're asking for trouble.
critical. I think any civil rights lawyer will tell you it can't just be done through the courts. There has to be that public pushback. So I hope people will not take this election to be, well, anything goes now on immigration. I don't think the American public on both sides of the aisle will stand for something like family separation again.
But if we're really going to talk...
Again, that's just fear mongering. I just wanted you guys to hear that real quick. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat room. Thank you for making comments. Elite Gamers X says who's going to make him actually do it if they pay him off. He's going to do it because he says that he does not need our money. Trump has already said he does not need our money. He's doing the right thing for America. I don't think that people really understand that this is what he means. But this is why a lot of people voted for him. This is why he got the popular vote, because he is believable in what he said. Mike Papa says he needs to put America first and do something for the middle and lower class. We just lost thousands on zero taxes, LOL. I'm sure we lost a lot. We've been losing, Mike. P1 says, God bless Texas. Exactly. God bless America. God bless Texas, America. God bless Americans. God bless Trump and his administration. God give him the understanding of what to do and how to do when he gets in office, and make good on his promises the right way, the easiest way to go about and deal with all these issues that we're having so far. I pray. Charles says it's very easy to tap that screen, hit those likes to make looky-loos. That was funny. Thank you, Charles. Thank you for being here. Triangular commission nuts out for squirrel. Okay. Charles says, I would love and honor to be a privilege to see those likes at 200. That would be great. But a lot of people just want to be looky-loos. They don't want to participate in liking the button. but they are subscribing to my channel. I will give them that. But it would be awesome if you guys would also hit the like button or hit the 3 buttons to the right hand corner and then thumbs up the video. That would help share the video as well. Dwighty says simple solution, but people here are so ignorant. Okay, what is the simple solution though? Jay Ray says doesn't cost you anything to hit the like button regardless of who you voted for. Exactly, Jay Ray. Thank you for that. Jose Cruz Torres says that's right. Mike is laughing. Cite that Copyright Act, federal government owns you big time. I wouldn't say owns me big time, but I know some of the rules and laws that they have for us to do these videos, and I'm trying to remember what all I need to do, you know, to keep my channel going, Jose. Mike says, you crazy. I'm crazy. Charles says, for that, I'm a Texan proud. Keep preaching, sister. Thank you for that, Dwighty. They all not criminals. Who you speaking about? You talking about the Democrats? Jay Ray says, if I have my kid with me and commit a crime, guess what happened? I will be separated from my child. You don't like the law? Stop coming here. That's the part that's really retarded, because a lot of American families are separated from their families because they are in jail for committing crimes. That's how it goes. When you commit a crime, you get separated from society. Duh. So why would it be any different from the illegal people that come over here? Somehow they're supposed to get better rights than we got. Make that make sense. And that's what we voted against. We did not want illegals to have better rights than we have as Americans. That does not make sense. And this is why Trump got the popular vote. This is why he got the electoral college vote, because that's not right to put illegals over the American people. Dwight says, I see Mike Papa is probably a cartel member. Okay. Michael says, send them all back. Brandy says, I can't believe they haven't learned their lesson. African Goddess says, some of those parents crossing illegally with their children are risking the kids' lives. They should be charged with child endangerment. Exactly. They should not be coddled. They should be treated like criminals, just like all of us are being treated like criminals when we go to jail. Dwight says, deport them all. That's what I say. Mike says, then he'll deport you, 4774, whoever that is. We are Americans. We're not going nowhere, Mike, Papa. Jose says, guess who builds the houses and apartments and buildings? Well, we can go back to building it among ourselves. We used to build it before, in the 80s and the 90s, before all the different jobs and manufacturing and everything else went out the window. I'm pretty sure that if you give the American people the opportunity to learn and take up trade jobs and whatnot, we can have newer builders that are American. So they're not all illegals. If you're implying that, Jose, I'm not buying it. Mike says, peace, y'all crazy. Guess who washes your dishes at Red Lobster? Those, more than likely, Jose, are legal immigrants. We're not talking about legal immigrants. Legal immigrants that have come over here legally, we're not referring to. I'm talking about illegal. They're not the same. We're talking about the people that bum rushed the border. We're talking about people that was smuggled in. We're talking about the people that's unvetted. Those are the ones that we voted against. Them coming through and taking over the resources of the land. This is what we're talking about. So I don't buy that they make the cars, that they build the houses, that they're the only ones that are working here. I don't buy that. And Battle Harden says, guess who doesn't care? Jose says, touch grass, lady. Oh, Lord, there you go. You must be an immigrant yourself. Are you an illegal here, Jose? Is that why you're getting all touchy? Kevin says, if you can't come legal, don't come at all. Exactly. Mike Epps somewhere humming 45, 47. Oh, wow. Yes, it's true. Deport them all, Monique says. Thank you for coming through, Monique. Dewike says, guess who migrated here through education screening and hard work compared to that crossed illegally in the middle of the night with a backpack full of fentanyl. Oh, wow. That's what we're talking about. We want the ones that came here the right way, that were screened, that are hard workers, that have trades or something to contribute, that are not coming here to harm, but to enforce and to help America. We're not talking about the ones that came over here that are saying that they're fleeing from something, but they bring with them crimes and other things that we don't need nor want. Jose says, don't destroy other people's homes and then tell them not to come. I don't know what you mean by that. I'm pretty sure most of those people had homes that are making their way over here now. They come from so many different places. You're going to blame everything on America? White says asylum isn't illegal, though, and is protected by the Constitution. What? Yeah, we need to make some adjustments to this asylum seeking or all these other different ways where people have loopholes to use to be able to manipulate our Constitution and be able to come over like they're coming over unvetted and unscreened. We don't need those type of illegals coming over here. And I'm sorry that you feel like if they claim asylum that's enough. That shouldn't be enough. And Trump sees through all that mess right there. Just go away, old lady. How about you first? All right, you go away. All right. God bless y'all today, and God finally bless America. Future looks bright, Dewike says. It looks better than it looked a week ago. I'll tell you that much. Trump 2024, that's right. This is crazy. They are illegal and they don't belong, Randy says. Exactly. Monique says, for Black, they have already stopped people from coming, and Trump has already said that it's his first order. Yesterday, he made this statement, everyone must get patience. Well, I don't know how much patience we're supposed to have because it's starting to become cold, and there's going to be some demands coming up because these migrants in New York, Chicago, Ohio, wherever they are going to be having demands from these shelters, from these hotels when they run out of time, which I'm sure they're going to be running out of time before January 20th. And something's got to give. Dewike says asylum is not crossing the border illegally while invading Border Patrol. You have to apply for asylum through U.S. Embassy. I'm sure it is not as easy as they're making it sound, but that's why Trump is trying to make adjustments that he has to make as a president, and Harris would have never made those adjustments. Now we're going to get to her concession speech. Speaking of Harris, I'm not a fan of hers at all. I really feel like she used and abused all these people to support her, and she discarded them when it was convenient. She showed that the night she lost by abandoning her people. Now she came back a day later, and now she's giving her concession speech. Let's see what she has to say in this regard. I hope that you guys are liking and sharing and subscribing to my channel. Let's listen to this.
Thank you. So let me say, and I love you back. So let me say, my heart is full today. Full of gratitude for the trust you have placed in me, full of love for our country, and full of resolve. The outcome of this election is not what we wanted, not what we fought for, not what we voted for, but hear me when I say, the light of America's promise will always burn bright.
Yes, now that you are gone, it's gonna burn a lot brighter. You ain't never lied right there. Now that you are gone and bags are gonna be packed, the future is gonna be a lot brighter than it would have been with you being there. Let's go.
As long as we never give up, and as long as we keep fighting. To my beloved Doug and our family, I love you so very much. To President Biden and Dr. Biden, thank you for your faith and support. To Governor Walz and the Walz family, I know your service to our nation will continue. And to my extraordinary team, to the volunteers who gave so much of themselves, to the poll workers and the local election officials, I thank you all. Look, I am so proud of the race we ran and the way we ran it. Over the 107 days of this campaign, we have been intentional about building community and building coalitions, bringing people together from every walk of life and background, united by love of country within.
She brought misfits for the most part together. People that were anti-American together. That's what she brought together, anti-American. And this is why we had to block her, because of her not being American first. And Trump is American first. This is why he was selected as the popular vote. And I'm so proud of some of our people from our community decided to vote for Trump and go against the trends and movements that was propaganda used against us and trying to brainwash us into believing that she is the person that we should choose based off of politics of identity. It didn't work this time. It did work with Obama, but that magic and that facade and that illusion went away when he went away. And we didn't fall for it. So I salute the Black Americans, especially that stood on their square and represented themselves in the right light this time. I hope that y'all continue forward with being on the right side of thinking and doing stuff instead of just sitting back, complaining, not voting, not participating. We stood up and we did make a difference, even though the numbers wasn't as big as I would like to have seen it. I believe that it was at least 27% that we did respond towards Trump. So that is commendable. But unfortunately, many more were brainwashed to believe that Harris was the right one. They had most of the Black women support her, like 90% of them. And of course, some Black men decided to still stay on the plantation of Democrats and listen to their lies that they were spinning to us, fear-mongering us, trying to make us think all the bad, negative stuff to think on that's not prevalent in our lives, that's not affecting our lives. but will be totally opposite if we went against our better judgment and our betterment. So let's go.
Enthusiasm and joy in our fight for America's future. And we did it with the knowledge that we all have so much more in common than what separates us. Now I know folks are feeling and experiencing a range of emotions right now. I get it. But we must accept the results of this election. Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition, and that we will engage in a peaceful transfer of power. A fundamental principle of American democracy is that when we lose an election, we accept the results. That principle, as much as any other, distinguishes democracy from monarchy or tyranny. And anyone who seeks the public trust must honor it. At the same time, in our nation, we owe loyalty not to a president or a party, but to the Constitution of the United States.
Which she hasn't been doing, nor would she ever do. So she's talking all this talk because she wants to transition and make this about trying to be an attack dog, more than likely against Trump, just like all the other Democrats will be an attack dog to try to dissuade and stop and block Trump from doing the things that he wants to try to get America back on the right track. This is what she's talking about, Constitution. Why didn't she honor the Constitution by protecting our border in the first place? Why didn't she honor our Constitution as far as letting the states decide abortion instead of making abortion the issue? Why is she always the opposite of the Constitution and trying to be American first? But now she wants to flaunt that fact about Constitution when she wasn't about the Constitution. She's for everything but the Constitution. But now she wants to utilize the usage of the Constitution talking point, again, to be an attack dog, so to speak, to Trump. But it's not going to work. We're not falling for the hokey dokey. Let's go.
And loyalty to our conscience and to our God. My allegiance.
And which God do you serve? We still never knew that part. We saw you call yourself preaching in black churches and promoting abortion everywhere. And you wanted to preach to black folks about God. Again, we saw you for what you were, a chameleon, someone that was fake and fraudulent, someone that could not have been trusted. And so therefore, Trump had to be the one picked. And I'm so glad that we picked the right one.
All three is why I am here to say, while I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign. The fight for freedom, for opportunity, for fairness, and the dignity of all people. A fight for the ideals at the heart of our nation, the ideals that reflect America at our best. That is a fight I will never give up. I will never give up the fight for a future where Americans can pursue their dreams, ambitions, and aspirations, where the women of America have the freedom to make decisions about their own bodies and not have their government telling them what to do. We will never give up the fight to protect our schools and our streets from gun violence. And America, we will never give up the fight for our democracy, for the rule of law, for equal justice, and for the sacred idea that every one of us, no matter who we are or where we start out, has certain fundamental rights and freedoms that must be respected and upheld.
We were so tired. I got to take a break from her because I can't handle her lying just uncontrollably. Let me take a little mini break from her little lying speech to show y'all that the Republicans win majority in Senate, and they also lead House of Representatives, so they really can make a difference, a dent in what's going on wrong. Trump has everything available to do right by us as Americans. Let's go.
This afternoon, we're still working to see which party will gain control of Congress. This after Republicans captured the majority in the Senate, but the House, they're still counting votes. Ryan Nobles has more on the balance of power.
Congress is going to look a lot different next year. For the first time in 4 years, Republicans are poised to take control of the Senate, flipping Democratic seats in Montana, Ohio, and West Virginia, while holding the state of Texas.
The results tonight, this decisive victory, should shake the Democrat establishment to its core.
But while their victories have guaranteed a majority, Democrats were able to limit the losses by picking up wins in blue wall states Donald Trump won. Incumbent Tammy Baldwin survived in Wisconsin, and Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin held on to an open seat in Michigan.
Tens of thousands of Michiganders voted for Donald Trump and Alyssa Slotkin on the same ballot. And it is my responsibility to get things done for Michiganders, no matter who's in office.
In the House, the picture is less clear. A couple dozen seats remain uncalled, and Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, who would be the first black speaker of the House should Democrats take the majority, arguing the House is still very much in play, and adding we must count every vote. But the remaining map favors Republicans, and the current House Speaker Mike Johnson expressed confidence he would keep his job.
We're going to have enough numbers to run the agenda through the House and the Senate, and President Trump is going to be a transformational president.
But no matter what, the margins will be tight, and Democrats are already vowing to keep a check on the new administration at every turn.
Of course they are, because they're anti-American, like I said. They don't care about allowing us becoming great again, because they have an agenda to globalize us and make us a part of the one world order, which they have to gut America and the middle class and make us haves and have-nots here in America, make us a third world or second world country so that they can control us better. That's what the Democrats would like to have happen. Let's get back now to Vice President Kamala Harris delivers the concession, it's almost over speech. Let's listen to this.
And we will continue to wage this fight in the voting booth, in the courts, and in the public square. And we will also wage it in quieter ways, in how we live our lives, by treating one another with kindness and respect, by looking in the face of a stranger and seeing a neighbor, by always using our strength to lift people up, to fight for the dignity that all people deserve. The fight for our freedom will take hard work, but like I always say, we like hard work. Hard work is good work. Hard work can be joyful work. And the fight for our country is always worth it. It is always worth it.
Yeah, that was interesting, Jay Ray, in quieter ways, like another assassination attempt. You know what? That does make sense. You sharp there, Jay Ray. Because who knows who was behind those assassination attempts? We still don't know who could have been a part, who's connected to those 2 attempts or supposed 3 attempts. It's very interesting to me. I'm pretty sure that his life will be attempted again. I pray that Trump will get a bullet vest and also tight security. Really, really tight security, because they could try to make another attempt before he becomes president. That's what I have thought about as well. So yes, them being quiet might be indicating other things. Exactly, attempts on his life. And yeah, that's crazy for her to have said that. But it's almost over. Let's listen some more.
To the young people who are watching, it is to the young people who are watching, it is okay to feel sad and disappointed. But please know it's going to be okay. On the campaign, I would often say, when we fight, we win. But here's the thing. Sometimes the fight takes a while. That doesn't mean we won't win. The important thing is don't ever give up. Don't ever stop trying to make the world.
Don't ever forget about what these Democrats call themselves trying to do. Don't ever let that pass you by in thought. They really were on one. They really want to do us dirty and leave us with absolutely no rights and giving them over to all these illegals. It's going to be about the illegals versus the Americans. We're going to still be fighting no matter what. Dickey says Mexicans are not problems. My professor was Mexican. He applied for immigration through educational exchange. Some of them are not a problem because they did come over here legally, but there are some that did still come over here illegally, Dewike. You said she's a great puppet. Antarctic moon giant. Yes, exactly. She's definitely a puppet for George Soros and other globalists. They are hardworking, Dewike says. Jay Ray says, now she want to talk about faith. Think she's at the wrong rally again. Oh, yeah, she's a chameleon. Don't you know, Jay Ray? Let's get back to this.
Better place. You have power. And don't you ever listen when anyone tells you something is impossible because it has never been.
We saw the power blocking your ass. That's the power we saw. Please like the video, share the video, subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. This is kind of funny. Yes, we had the power to block and bar your ass from getting in the Oval Office and destroying us, the little bit that we have left of America. Yes, we did block and bar your ass.
Done before. You have the capacity to do extraordinary good in the world. And so to everyone who is watching, do not despair. This is not a time to throw up our hands. This is a time to roll up our sleeves.
Yeah, it's a time for us to be honest that Trump is the better person and that I am elated. After this is over, I just recognized that Biden had some words to say about this election and everything like that. I wonder what he had to say. I want to play that as well. Please like the video. I see that there are a lot of people in here, but there's hardly any likes. There are 3 dots to the right. All you have to do is hit that and then hit the thumbs up, or you can double tap the screen for you to like the video. Let's go.
It's a time to organize, to mobilize, and to stay engaged for the sake of freedom and justice and the future that we all know we can build together. Look, many of you know I started out as a prosecutor, and throughout my career, I saw people at some of the worst times in their lives. People who had suffered great harm and great pain, and yet found within themselves the strength and the courage and the resolve to take the stand, to take a stand, to fight for justice, to fight for themselves, to fight for others. So let their courage be our inspiration. Let their determination be our charge. And I'll close with this. There's an adage an historian once called a law of history, true of every society across the ages. The adage is, only when it is dark enough can you see the stars. I know many people feel like we are entering a dark time, but for the benefit of us all, I hope that is not the case. But here's the thing, America, if it is, let us fill the sky with the light of a brilliant, brilliant billion of stars. The light of optimism, of faith, of truth, and service. It's you. And may that work guide us, even in the face of setbacks, toward the extraordinary promise of the United States of America. I thank you all. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America. I thank you all.
She gave them 12 minutes and 30 seconds about to say her little concession speech. It was not impressive. It was not genuine. I didn't believe nothing that she had to say except for little subliminals that she stated about pretty much being a watch attack dog against Trump, probably more than likely for these illegals. I'm pretty sure that when he tries to do mass deportations, there's going to be all kinds of protests and all kinds of people trying to get black people to be involved in trying to help stave off these deportations, which I feel black Americans should not get involved. We are American first. We need to secure the border, and we need to have people come in legally. That should not be our plight to fight. But there's going to be a whole slew of people that's trying to damage our thoughts and try to force us to think that their issue is our issue, or it's going to be our issue right after their issue. No, we should not be scared. We should know that we are Americans, and we should conduct ourselves as such. I think a lot of people would like us not to know who we are, which clearly by this election, by the feelings of, the popular vote, us coming together, voting for Trump, as a people of this nation, regardless of what nationality you are or skin color you have, we still have a lot to offer America, and we have already offered a lot to America as our ancestors and everybody else in between. And we shouldn't discredit ourselves in thinking that now all hope is gone because Trump is going to be president. That's what they want us to believe. A lot of conversation with the left media is going to try to sway blacks to stay on target for being brainwashed and believing everything that they're going to feed us, into trying to keep us emotional, angered, confused, We have to choose not to be that way, though. And we can choose not to be that way by accepting this election and understanding there will be changes that's going to happen, and some of it's going to be painful to watch. But again, I really feel that this immigration situation, this illegal immigration situation, is going to really try to get a lot of black people revved up for the wrong reason. Jay Ray says Kamala serves ball. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Yep. Pinky says, name her here. I ask that question all the time. No answer yet. Okay. Jay Ray says, is it just me or is she doing the Trump hand movements? I don't know what she was doing. Maybe she was doing a little magic on us, trying. Some dude, how are you, should have had a primary. Yes, that would have been nice to do. We didn't have the opportunity to really vet her. And she got in and was close enough to almost get the election. And that's why I believed that she might get the election, because of how she skipped the primary and how she got selected to be the candidate for president. Just like nothing. Just 3 months of campaigning. She was that close, y'all, to almost get in. It was so close. That was kind of scary, y'all. That was a close call. Yeah, nothing original at all about her. That's right, J. Ray. What's up, of the land? How you doing? Kamala is not an American. She is an anchor baby raised in Canada, Pinky says. Well, they say if you were born in America, she supposedly was born in California, so she's supposed to be an American, but she is not a black American. Her father came here from Jamaica. Her mom is from India. How does she get to be called African or black American? That is insanity right there. But this is what she used to try to wiggle her way into our community, claiming to be one of us when she wasn't, clearly not. And everybody was trying to let a phony in, just like we let Obama's phony ass in. And now we see the light. Now we finally see the light. And hopefully we won't go back to being stupid and stay in the right mindset that we need to survive in. Pinky says my pick for the Senate didn't win, but I was expecting that. Was that guy, Steve Garvey, he didn't win? Of the Land says, how are you to Pinky? And how are you doing, Laura Makes a Way? I don't think I've seen you yet. Thank you for coming through. Charles says, what's always so funny is that she's always laughing. It's like a big joke to that lady. That's why she got that fat check in her pocket, getting ready to cross the border to go back home. You know, she got a lot of money, Kamala. What, $1 billion of donations and contributions for her campaign. That's why I thought she was going to make it. Because she had everybody on her side. The celebrities, the contributors, the globalists. Everything was aligning just right for her to get in. And she just missed it by a hair. Well, not really by a hair, but close enough, y'all. It was a toss-up. It was a coin toss. It was so close. I was so petrified. I was so concerned. And I had a lot of anxiety. And I had a lot of doubt. I was really on the edge. But I'm so glad that now I'm free from that thinking. Because it was becoming a lot. Laura Makes a Way says, I'm great. I heard that. Monique says, of the land, how are you? Okay. See, my state kicked him over the line for victory. So proud of Pennsylvania. I'm so glad they flipped. I'm so glad they flipped. I see that Chicago wasn't able to flip red, but ultimately we still got what we wanted. The people in Chicago was declaring that they were going to flip Chicago from all the things that Chicago had allowed to have happen because of the illegals. And so they were attempting to flip Chicago red, but I don't think they were successful. But still, Trump won. They still got what they wanted. Of the Land says, why didn't they win? Was the winner a Dem? My state is a blue state. It's hard to get the Republicans in. I did my best. So did I. I tried. Maine, how are you? Mermaid is back. How are you? You're 100% right. Thank you for that. Eric says Jeffries has never said the truth once in his terms. I don't know who Jeffries is. What year was this country great? Well, Dreszy, back in the 80s and 90s, early 90s, there was a time where America was so plentiful in production and manufacturing and producing their own stuff that anytime you would go to a store, all you would see is made in America. You never saw as plentiful as you see China, India, and all these other places that are now taking over production and produce and whatnot. We had our own in-house stuff, and that what made our economy so strong, and we were so great. I would say that we all along still had other issues like crack and gangs. Eventually, AIDS was a problem in that time as well. But the economy was strong for where you could get fired and then the next weekend or whatever, you can have another job by that week. You can't do that now. It is so hard to find jobs so quick because all the jobs have been taken overseas. And so he wants to bring those types of things back to where we could have a base here in America again, like we used to have, and have more production and manufacturing jobs that would come back. That's what would make the economy better again. And that's what Trump wants to do again, Drizzy. Charles says, of the blessings unto of the land, and everybody, blessings to all of y'all. A namer here, you hecking destroyed the Trumpers with that comment. Okay. Of the Land says, yes, I'm proud of you guys. I would have felt bad if they didn't flip it. My state, New York, is really mixed and should be purple like some others are. Yes, in quieter ways, like another assassination attempt. He, I'm sure, and his family and everybody's thought about how dangerous before him being sworn in will be. So hopefully Trump will do everything in his power to make sure nobody tries to assassinate him before he is made president again. That's for sure. I used to love the word joy until she came along. J. Ray says BlackRock was tied to both shooters. Ooh. How you know that, J. Ray? Of the Land says blessings to you as well, my brother, but I'm a sister. J. Ray says both these guys were featured in BlackRock advertisements. Oh, were they? Of the Land purple, that's funny. Laura Makes a Way says, how did Chicago and Philly vote? I didn't look yet. I think that ultimately it still stayed. If I had to guess, I'm thinking I saw something that said Chicago didn't flip red. If I'm wrong, let me know, y'all. But Philly, how did they vote? I didn't look yet. All I know is that in Philadelphia, Trump won. Ultimately, he got the numbers for the college electoral vote. Kyle Kitchen says, I can't wait for my 20% blanket increase on prices. Why you say that? Of the Land says, yes, I heard them use the term purple states on election night for those that have a mixture of red and blue countries or counties. My county is red, and I'm glad for that. Okay. Monique says, Pennsylvania came through for Trump. Kristen says, is conceding rather even of importance if she lost the vote? Just so that people know that she's not going to try to fight for supposed notion that it's been rigged or it's cheating going on or something. to cause questions about the election. She conceded from any of that type of talk, I believe, just to let the people know that she's not going to try to, prolong anything. Kyle says, how do you feel about Elon Musk lying on his immigration form or overstaying his student visa? What do you mean by that? Him lying on his immigration form? Can you say what you mean by that? Love yourself. Michigan turned red. I'm happy so many woke up. I was very surprised that Michigan turned red, but I'm so happy that they probably realized that they got next for this migration situation, illegal migration situation, because it's going to Ohio right now. So they probably figured maybe it might be coming to them next, and they didn't want that to happen. Civility engineer, bro, stop complaining. You know damn well that if she did win, you'd be encouraging people to take to the streets. No, I wouldn't. And I'm not a bro, first off. But I would not encourage nobody to go to the streets. For what? What is that going to do? Nothing. But cause people to get jailed or possibly taken down or harmed. Why would I want to see people do all that? For what? It's an election, and luckily the election ended better than I could ever have imagined. It's very shocking that he won as big as he did, but I'm glad it's better that way than the other way, having people really coming out of their character and acting a fool and responding, retaliating. I'm glad that it didn't resort to that. So I'm glad the outcome ended the way it did. That's for sure. Please like, share, and subscribe. How you doing, Laura Makes a Way, by the way? If I'm not mistaken, Laura Makes a Way. Illinois was turned red. You think so? I'm not sure if that happened. Let me know, y'all, if y'all know for certain. I thought it didn't happen in Chicago. If it did, that's phenomenal. Other Land says it's so hypocritical for those Dems to start promoting faith in God when they are the greatest promoters of sin, in my humble opinion. Yeah, they are. That's the problem right there. They be doing too much. They letting too much go on without anything being checked. And they are the party of just being just sinful as hell. Just not having no standard, not having no accountability, not thinking about any consequence. It is definitely out there right now. We need the house, Eric says. I hope we get it. Parrot and a moron. Is that what you are, a parrot and a moron? Or are you saying that Kamala Harris is? I don't understand what you mean. Trump for the world, that's right. Are you concerned about what they'll be trying to do on the way out? I'm worried. Yes, there's still time to try something. That's what I was saying. Hopefully Trump is going to be well protected and not take no chances unnecessary. Rigatoni says, you are so odd, bro. Get off the internet for a day. They said nothing wrong, bro. Y'all stay victims for no reason. You don't make no sense right there, Rigatoni, but you can have your opinion, whatever. Yes, Trump 2024. I guess your butt hurt that Trump won. Oh, well. How you doing, Wow? E. Cody says, Trump, please hurry. That's wow. That's right. Oh, I remember that cartoon, Wile Cody. That's funny. Kyle says, I just want to know what you think about Elon Musk lying on his immigration forms. Again, I don't know that to be true, but what did he lie about? Is he from America or is he from Africa, or what's the deal? Where is he from? Laura Makes a Way. Monique, Illinois is blue. I was just curious how Chicago and Philly did. I'm so happy she lost. Jason says, I heard that. So am I. I'm very happy. Charles says, I need a couple of double lookalikes. Jay Ray says, I don't know. Elon is more African than Kamala will ever be. Oh, I guess he's originally from South Africa or somewhere like that. Sharon says, so thrilled. We have been so scared for legitimate reasons. It may very well be petty, but I am glad to see them sweat for 4 years, even though there isn't a reason for them to. Yeah, Sharon, they will be sweating and they will be complaining and marching and protesting and trying to get Black people involved in all the affairs about what's going on with the illegals. And hopefully Black people won't be so dumb to go against your own self-interest because you're going to bat for your replacements, your people that are trying to displace you. Hopefully Black people are going to be American more than ever, because that's what you need to understand, that's what we are. I know Pan-Africans are upset that Kamala didn't win. I know that Dr. Eric Hanna, for instance, is really upset, and I can just taste her tears. Dr. Eric Hanna, she is the past ambassador of the United States for the African Union, who was fired back in 2019 for fraud, now was trying to support and advocate for Kamala to become president. She is still trying to get people to give her money for her supposed projects that she wants to do in Africa, that nothing has manifest anything, especially Wakanda City that she claimed that she was going to build in Ghana and all those things. But these Pan-Africans are butthurt like her. I had a dream maybe a few days ago about Dr. Eric Hanna. Ironically, I dreamed that she was drowning. I was on a beach watching her drown, so I thought. I was looking out the corner of my eye, pretending like I couldn't see her drown, and then come to find out she was playing like she was drowning and laughing. So that dream happened. But I'm sure she's not laughing and she's not smiling right now. A lot of people are not smiling and laughing right now that are Pan-Africans, but oh well. But one thing that I noticed that we will be having more so hearing is Pan-Africans talk about, woe is America now. We need to get out of America as Black Americans and go to Africa and all this type of jazz. So we're going to have to be mindful that that conversation is going to be coming up too as well. Charles says, I have a question. Have you seen what Elon Musk is proposing or reducing GVT employees and replacing them? No, I haven't. What is that all about? Can you explain more? He lied on his immigration form. Kyle Kitchen says about Elon Musk. How did he lie? How do you know he lied? Maine says she told people to mobilize. I know. She's going to tell people to fight the fight for these illegals. And that's not our plight nor fight. That's the truth. They need to go back to where they came from. We cannot throw ourselves in front of that. Sacrifice ourselves for their situation. We have our own surviving to do. I hope people get that part. Charles says if she went up against Clarissa Shields, you can say fighting fight all day long, but she's going to just beat your A. Okay, I don't know what you mean by that, Charles, at all. Laura Makes a Way says the dark time was with her and Brian. She is evil. That's right. Gunfu. DNC equals CPUSA, Max says. Enough, Madam Lucer. I don't know what you mean by that, but let me help you out. Just for a spell. Monique says, of the land now we wait. He spoke yesterday and said that the very first thing that he will work on is deportations. I believe that he will. And that's why I'm saying that they're already, the Democrats and the likes of Kamala and everybody's already trying to rev us up to have to try to fight for these illegals, and we're not going to do that. I pray that Black Americans wake up and stop trying to make their issue our issue. Stop already. Yes, she's inciting violence in a way, a little bit. Papa says, charge fight. Is this some kind of spell? Yes, it is. Of the Land says, someone said that after Trump's win, Biden rushed and sent Ukraine billions. What? Hold on, let me see what you sent me. I'm not shocked. Didn't they already send them $8 billion? $8 billion? Hold on. If it's a short video, I'll play it. Utter arrogance. New York AG scored for distasteful post-Trump victory remarks. I'll play a little bit of what she's saying. Please like the video. Please share the video. I will greatly appreciate it.
Not look at New York City, where Democratic Governor Kathy Hochul was speaking, but now New York Attorney Letitia James is speaking here about how her office is going to respond to a Trump presidency. Let's listen in for a moment.
And with other Democratic AGs across this country to make sure that we would be ready to respond to any attempt to roll back our rights. So here we are. We studied
again, using a Black person as usual, talking about rolling back rights. Whose rights are you talking about? You're not talking about American rights. You're talking about the immigrants, the illegals. This is what she's going to be gearing up for. This is what most people are going to try to get Blacks to be a part of, and trying to get us to protest, march, and all this type of jazz. I hope to God, which I know that plenty still are going to go march and do all these other extra things that have nothing to do with them. And this person right here is, of course, coming after Trump.
platforms. We've identified certain possibilities, fact patterns. We've created contingency plans. So no matter what the next administration throws at us, we're ready. We're ready to respond to their attacks. We're ready to respond to any attempts to cut or eliminate any funding to the great state of New York, as the governor outlined.
So funding that's going to the illegals, is she calling herself rearing up to fight against that? Which those fundings have to stop, and maybe use the last part of that funding for them to get on a plane ticket. That would work a lot better than continuing to give them money. And I'm sure that Trump will advise the monies that they're finally getting to utilize that money towards a ticket to go back home. She's already revving up for this fight for the illegals, as if we're supposed to be on board for that. This is crazy.
So despite what has happened on the national stage, we will continue to stand tall in the face of injustice, revenge, or retribution. We will continue to protect and our most vulnerable and marginalized amongst us, because it is my sworn duty and responsibility to lead that fight, working with the governor of this great state, Kathy Hochul.
So they want to fight for the illegals. Again, all the people that's supposed to be our representatives to do stuff for American people is all out the window. They have sold us out, and they use blackface all the time for these plights, trying to imply that their civil rights are being violated when they shouldn't have civil rights, because they're not citizens and they came over here illegally. So we're going to have a battle against what's right for America versus what they're trying to force America to be. And Trump has to deal with all this stuff already out the gate. They're already letting it be known we're going to be in the way of Trump from trying to do anything to correct the woes of what illegal immigration has caused.
This is not the time to be fearful, New York, but faithful and steadfast, knowing that I, as the Attorney General, along with my entire team, we are guardians of the law, and we are prepared, my friends, to fight back. Thank you.
Again, I think that that's her way of signaling trying to fight for illegals, but that's my opinion. We'll have to wait and see what's going to happen once Trump gets in office. And of course, he's going for the illegals. So we're going to see how people are going to respond. I'm pretty sure the Democrats are going to be responding, and it's going to be always a battle. Sharon says that's what it sounded like. Kyle says, so like Elon Musk being an illegal immigrant doesn't bother anyone here. How is he illegal? I don't get what you're talking about. Is he from South Africa? Where is he from? And how do you figure he came over here illegal? Sharon says, not so much. Of the Land said, yes, I hope so. There should be watch parties for that. LOL. Laura Makes a Way says, get ready, people. These illegals aren't going to leave in peace. No, they're not. They're not going to go leave in peace. That's why I hope Trump is going to handle them the right way. What I would do is give a speech well before January and tell people, instruct people what they need to do. If I was the elect president, I would say, hey, January 20th is not that far away. Winter will be in full bloom at that time. This is November, whatever. I'm letting y'all know as illegals that y'all are going to be the first to go in mass number. So you might as well take that money that you're getting, that the government has been allowing you to get, allotting you to have, towards your ticket to get back to wherever you come from before I become president. Of course, we're going to be looking for the more dangerous ones first, but eventually we're going to come up and catch up to you. It's just a matter of time. Make it easy on everybody and make your way back to where you have come from. You guys are going to be needing to have more housing and all these types of things, which your housing is back home. Back home. Not here. We can't afford it. We won't afford it. Look at Chicago. Look at New York. Look. Sharon says he has brought more to the table than anyone. Yup. Charles says, please tap those buttons to the left-hand side of your screen or to the right-hand side of the screen. Tap. Love you. Thank you for that. Larry says, it's done. Now the election's over. Time for Trump to perform and produce. Hopefully it will be the good of you and all of us. Yes. Eleanor says, I'm waiting for him to start deporting. I can't wait. Eleanor says, I can't wait. I wouldn't say it's a joyous thing, but I hope it's handled respectful as possible. Even though there's so many people still lying in wait to come over here. I hope it's handled as best as possible and as respectful as possible. But there should be a conversation before he even makes it to the Oval Office, well before then, to instruct the illegals what they need to do in the meanwhile. That's what I would do. So excited that Trump is back in office soon to be. Not soon enough, Pat. Yeah, let's get the shit started, man. Of the Land said, yes, the process of deportation could get violent. Hopefully it will end smoothly. Maine says, Lauren, once the gravy train ends, no more free stuff. They'll have no reason to stay. That's why they're here. They'll offer them free one-way tickets to see who'll go voluntarily. Larry says, hey, all the crap talk is out. Is on Trump now. You voted for him. Voted now. He has to produce or else you will be like Malcolm said, bamboozled and hoodwinked. I have more faith in Trump than I have in Harris. So yeah, we have to wait and see what he's going to do. Hopefully before he gets sworn in, he's going to say certain things. I'm sure they're working on what is the best way to approach this situation of immigration. He's going to be advised and given advisement, I'm sure, from different people to tell him how to be humane as possible. But it has to happen. J. Ray says, end the Biden-Harris migrant parole program. Exactly. Charles says, you are an adult because your ass too cheap to pay the light bill. What? Who are you talking to? No one knows who this woman really is. Who is Kamala? Nobody knows. Now, speaking of Kamala, Biden did have some words I want to play that he was speaking on for the election being over and decided. He has some words that he wants to bring to light as well. Let's listen to Crazy Joe and see what he has to say. Here's my reaction. I haven't heard it yet.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Please. Thank you. Good to see this cabinet and staff together. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's good to see you all. Particularly good to see my granddaughter sitting in the front row here. Hi, Finn. How are you, honey? For over 200 years, America has carried on the greatest experiment in self-government in the history of the world. That's not hyperbole, that's a fact. We're the people. The people vote and choose their own leaders, and they do it peacefully. And we're in a democracy. The will of the people always prevails. Yesterday, I spoke with President-elect Trump to congratulate him on his victory. And I assured him that I'd direct my entire administration to work with his team to ensure a peaceful and orderly transition. That's what the American people deserve. Yesterday, I also spoke with Vice President Harris. She's been a partner and a public servant. She ran an inspiring campaign, and everyone got to see something that I learned early on to respect so much, her character. She has a backbone like a ramrod. She has great character, true character. She gave her whole heart effort, and she and her entire team should be proud of the campaign they ran. You know, the struggle for the soul of America, since our very founding, has always been an ongoing debate and still vital today. I know for some people, it's a time for victory, to state the obvious. For others, it's a time of loss. Campaigns are contests of competing visions. The country chooses one or the other. We accept the choice the country made. I've said many times, you can't love your country only when you win. You can't love your neighbor only when you agree. Something I hope we can do, no matter who you voted for, is see each other not as adversaries, but as fellow Americans. Bring down the temperature. I also hope we can lay to rest the question about the integrity of the American electoral system. It is honest, it is fair, and it is transparent. And it can be trusted, win or lose. I also hope we can restore the respect for all our election workers who busted their necks, took risks at the outset. We should thank them. Thank them for staffing voting sites, counting the votes, protecting the very integrity of the election. Many of them are volunteers who do it simply out of love for their country. And as they did their duty as citizens, I will do my duty as president. I'll fulfill my oath, and I will honor the Constitution. On January 20th, we'll have a peaceful transfer of power here in America. To all our incredible staff, supporters, cabinet members, all the people who've been hanging out with me for the last 40 years, God love you, as my mother would say. Thank you so much. You put so much into the past 4 years. I know it's a difficult time. You're hurting. I hear you and I see you. Don't forget all that we accomplished. It's been a historic presidency. Not because I'm president, because what we've done, what you've done. A presidency for all Americans. Much of the work we've done is already being felt by the American people. The vast majority of it will not be felt over the next 10 years. We have legislation we passed that's just only now just really kicking in. We're going to see over $1 trillion worth of infrastructure work done, changing people's lives in rural communities, communities that are in real difficulty, because it takes time to get it done. There's so much more it's going to take time, but it's there. The road ahead is clear, assuming we sustain it. There's so much we can get done.
Yeah, once you're gone, Joe, once you're gone, there's things that can be done. There's things that can be accomplished. Not while you're there, though. Lord, what is he talking about? He is the reason why we're in such a bad situation. He is the reason why Trump was picked over Kamala, because of the economy being so bad, because of the social norms are being tested and tried out with all these other propaganda agendas, all these other experimental things that's being imposed on the general public. He has allowed to have happen during his administration. He is the reason why he is the worst president of the United States, in my opinion. So I don't know why he's sitting up there acting as if he ain't did nothing wrong and everything is everything and on the up and up, when it's not, because of him and Harris.
Will get done based on the way the legislation was passed. And it's truly historic. You know, we're leaving behind the strongest economy in the world. We know people are still hurting, but things are changing rapidly. Together, we've changed America for the better. Now we have 74 days to finish the term, our term. Let's make every day count. That's the responsibility we have to the American people. Look, folks, you all know it in your lives. Setbacks are unavoidable, but giving up is unforgivable. Setbacks are unavoidable, but giving up is unforgivable. We all get knocked down. But the measure of our character, as my dad would say, is how quickly we get back up. Remember, a defeat does not mean we are defeated. We lost this battle. The America of your dreams is calling for you to get back up. That's the story of America for over 240 years and counting. It's a story for all of us, not just some of us. The American experiment endures. We're going to be okay, but we need to stay engaged. We need to keep going. And above all, we need to keep the faith. I'm so proud to have worked with all of you. I really mean it. I sincerely mean it. God bless you all. God bless America. And may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Nothing he says rang true to be. Nothing present tense and what the past looked like when he became president. And he's messed up where Trump has to come in and do a cleanup job. So now I want to take a momentary break, musical break, while you guys get an opportunity to hit the like button. And when I get back, I'm going to start reading from the comment sections, and you guys can share with me any thoughts that you may have about what Joe just said. Also, anything in relation to what Kamala has said or what your feelings are about Trump now becoming elected. How do you feel about what's going to happen before the election? Do you think there's going to be any hiccups that may come about? How do you feel? How is your anxiety level? Let me know how you feel while I'm gone for a bit. Here is Isaac Hayes singing "They Long to Be Close to You." Take a listen to this, and I will return in just a little bit.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like oh, they long to be so very close to you. Oh, why do stars fall from the sky every time you walk by? Oh, just like me, you know they long to be close to you. On the day that you were born, on the day that you were born, the angels got together and they decided, they decided my hair, and I see heaven when I look at you. And that is why all the guys in town follow you all around. Oh, it doesn't like me. Everybody on the beat, so very close to you. Just like me. Everybody on the beat, very close to you. Stars coming from the sky, we walk by. I said, boy, that's the view, so very close to you. Every guy in town, just like me. All the time coming, so very close to you. All the time follow you around.
I hope you enjoyed the song, y'all. Just wanted to take my dog out real quick for a bathroom break, but I am back. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat room. Laura Makes a Way says, all of a sudden he's out of the hole. He did sound awake, gold crown, I speak. Joe Biden sounded like he was woke when he was speaking for the first time in a long time. People are hinting that he may be actually happy that Kamala lost by how he was taken over by the process with Kamala Harris installed to be president of the United States, or the candidate. Anyways, it's over. Jay Ray says, the pulse of outside feels like we back to normal again. I know that's right. Laura Makes a Way says, Byron and Camilla need to be in jail for ruining this country. Who is Byron? I don't know who that is. Spooky Spook says, Lauren, they put Obama in jail too, then put Obama in jail too. He was part of the problem. Yes, Obama definitely was part of a lot of different things that he was doing that I'm sure that we would be shocked about if we heard or learned what was up with Obama. Just the Democrats overall have done too much. They have reigned supreme in war. They are trying to change the culture of what America has been about, Christian based. They're trying to change it to be more do as thou wilt, Aleister Crowley type Satanists that used to be doing all kinds of crazy things back in the day. A lot of celebrities adhere to do as thou wilt, just being very demonic, probably a part of witchcraft and a lot of different things that they have done. Secret societies, of course, are out there. YBK RRR says his dementia is taking a break. Taking an RN break. Spooky says, good points, thank God. Of the Land says, a commentator recently said that Biden is the cause of Kamala's losing the election, that if he wasn't so selfish and waited to the last minute to drop out, she would have had more time to prepare. Of the land, I guess so, but I'm glad whatever way, because she still was a puppet for globalists. So I don't want to give her an excuse for not winning. She just wasn't the right candidate overall at all. Laura Makes a Way says the only good thing Obama did was build them cages. Oh, Lord. You said build them cages? FAFO says you can't fix the problem when you is the problem. Goodbye, Joe and Kamala. Exactly. Yes, what did he accomplish? Nothing. Joe did not accomplish anything good for America. Mr. Jones says emergency destruction procedures are being followed to a T. Oh, didn't they say that they might have to use the National Guard or something? Is that what you're referring to? What good did he accomplish? Laura Makes a Way says nothing. Papa Smurf says, Papa Smurf, he's only talking to the ones that filled their pockets. Pinky says, don't get scared when I take you up on that to axe. What y'all talking about? Laura Makes a Way says, please like the video. Please like the video, y'all. Michael says, go woke, go broke. All you all. No, we don't want to do that. In fact, there is a video I want to show before I forget. There is a video that I thought was so sad. There is a transgender person that was young that did have, I guess, regret for having the surgery done. And they're speaking at this hearing to discuss why this person wanted to transition back, and talks about the shocking truth about the trans surgery. These so-called woke ideologies are a big reason I believe white America chose Trump, because they're putting a lot of transgender people in sports in the bathroom and causing big controversies when it comes to trying to be a woman. And so you have this person that is detransitioning back to what they were as a woman, I guess, as a young kid. This person wanted to become a male and then had a change of heart. So let's listen to what happened. And this is one of the reasons why I chose to vote for Trump, because I think being woke is getting ridiculous, and the consequences of what is going on, people don't like to talk about too much. But I think that this is probably a good hearing testimony.
Another way to put that would be, I used to believe...
Hold on, let me start all over.
My name is Chloe Cole, and I'm a detransitioner. Another way to put that would be, I used to believe that I was born in the wrong body, and the adults in my life whom I trusted affirmed my belief, and this caused me lifelong, irreversible harm. I speak to you today as a victim of one of the biggest medical scandals in the history of the United States of America. I speak to you in the hope that you will have the courage to bring the scandal to an end and ensure that other vulnerable teenagers, children, and young adults don't go through what I went through. At the age of 12, I began to experience what my medical team would later diagnose as gender dysphoria. I was well into an early puberty, and I was very uncomfortable with the changes that were happening to my body. I was intimidated by male attention, and when I told my parents that I felt like a boy, in retrospect, all I meant was that I hated puberty, that I wanted this newfound sexual attention to go away, that I looked up to my brothers a little bit more than I did to my sisters. I came out as transgender in a letter I sent on the dining room table. My parents were immediately concerned. They felt like they needed to get outside help from medical professionals, but this proved to be a mistake. It immediately set our entire family down a path of ideologically motivated deceit and coercion. The gender specialist I was taken to see told my parents that I needed to be put on puberty-blocking drugs right away. They asked my parents a simple question: would you rather have a dead daughter or a living transgender son? The choice was enough for my parents to let their guard down, and in retrospect, I can't blame them. This was the moment that we all became victims of so-called gender-affirming care. I was fast-tracked onto puberty blockers and then testosterone. The resulting menopausal-like hot flashes made focusing on school impossible. I still get joint pains and weird pops in my back, but they were far worse when I was on the blockers. A month later, when I was 13, I had my first testosterone injection. It's caused permanent changes to my body. My voice will forever be deeper, my jawline sharper, my nose longer, my bone structure permanently masculinized, my Adam's apple more prominent, my fertility unknown. I look in the mirror sometimes and I feel like a monster. I had a double mastectomy at 15. They tested my amputated breast for cancer. And I was cancer-free, of course. I was perfectly healthy. There was nothing wrong with my still developing body or my breasts, other than that, as an insecure teenage girl, I felt awkward about it. After my breasts were taken away from me, the tissue was incinerated. Before I was able to legally drive, I had a huge part of my future womanhood taken from me. I will never be able to breastfeed. I struggle to look at myself in the mirror at times. I still struggle to this day with sexual dysfunction. And I have massive scars across my chest, and the skin grafts that they took of my nipples are weeping fluid today, and they were grafted into a more masculine positioning, they said. After surgery, my grades in school plummeted. Everything that I went through did nothing to address my underlying mental health issues that I had. And my doctors, with their theories on gender, thought that all my problems would go away as soon as I was surgically transformed into something that vaguely resembled a boy. Their theories were wrong. The drugs and surgeries changed my body, but they did not and could not change the basic reality that I am and forever will be a female. When my specialist first told my parents that they could have a dead daughter or a live transgender son, I wasn't suicidal. I was a happy child who struggled because she was different. However, at 16, after my surgery, I did become suicidal. I'm doing better now, but my parents almost got the dead daughter promised to them by my doctors. My doctors had almost created the very nightmare they said they were trying to avoid. So what message do I want to bring to American teenagers and their families? I didn't need to be lied to. I needed compassion. I needed to be loved. I needed to be given therapy to help me work through my issues, not affirm to my delusion.
But see, if you go to school and they have like kids that are saying certain things and teachers can overhear this or that and make determinations as to your child needing to become transgendered now. She's speaking about, her personal journey, battling, saying certain things and then things just happening based off of what she said and them perceiving her to want to change and trying to coerce her into wanting to be this way. And now she has regret about all of the processes that she went through. This is just, part of what the Democrats is trying to do. And they're trying to promote in schools and in other situations such as sports, such as jail, imposing these beliefs onto the American people. And this is one of the reasons I believe white America fought back against, because they didn't want their little girls to have to go to sports and deal with trying to play volleyball against a transgender person, or boxing or wrestling or track or anything, because ultimately these people that transgender still has a little piece of what they really are, because you can't change your DNA or your chromosomes. So she's just given her testimony as far as what she went through. I thought that this was kind of important to bring up as one of the reasons why a lot of people voted for Trump, because he said he would block transgender people from being a part of sports with women and other things that they're trying to do, the Democrats.
that by transforming into a boy, it would solve all my problems. We need to stop telling 12-year-olds that they were born wrong, that they are right to reject their own bodies and feel uncomfortable with their own skin. We need to stop telling children that puberty is an option, that they can choose what kind of puberty they will go through, just so they can choose what clothes to wear or what music to listen to. Puberty is a rite of passage to adulthood, not a disease to be mitigated. Today, I should be at home with my family celebrating my 19th birthday, and instead I'm making a desperate plea to my elected representatives. Learn the lessons from other medical scandals like the opioid crisis, to recognize that doctors are human too, and sometimes they are wrong. My childhood was ruined along with thousands of detransitioners that I know through our networks. This needs to stop.
Again, ruined her life at a very young age, had her thinking that she was a little boy, went through some of the process with her chest or her breast removed. I'm not sure if she tried to get a penis, probably not, but still, her whole life now forever is changed. She will never, ever be able to acquire what she used to have because she took it away with the surgeries. But we don't think about the regrets that some of these people will have because we assume we know what's best for them psychologically. And people that are supposedly educated are making up laws and rules for little kids in school to get caught up in this way. So I don't believe in that. I don't think that kids should be having any type of conversation about sexuality. I think that they should come to grow into that knowledge as they get grown to know certain things or think certain thoughts. I don't think that people should force feed any of us, especially as a young child. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. I know that was probably shocking to y'all. It was definitely shocking to me. And it's a sad story. But we don't think about what could be, negative about transgender because it's been pushed on us so much to accept it and worry about calling them this and that and the other. Spooky Spook says the strongest economy. Well, not right now. Papa Smurf says him and Kamala only talk to the people that are a part of their clique. Easy X says, Joe, please get on your horse and buggy and get the hell out of here. That's hilarious, Spooky says. And Other Land says, LOL, and people complain about those cage holding cells that Obama held the immigrant kids in. So now they're letting them roam freely and become victims of child trafficking. See, that's wild. Please hit the like button, y'all. I see that you guys are listening. For some reason, you enjoy listening to me, but you're not hitting the like. Please hit the like. It's not that hard. It doesn't cost you anything at all. J. Ray says, is he going to do that creepy whisper? We didn't get that this time. They didn't get knocked down. They got lifted up, Papa Smurf says. He's melting. This is hilarious. You are pathetic for real. The man and or guy says, how are we pathetic? In what way? You're just making up stuff. Of the Land says, if Biden has dementia, he shouldn't still be allowed to make decisions and hand out more of America's money to Ukraine, etc. Now Kamala should take over if she really wants to do something. I don't know if I could trust her even temporarily in that position. Do you think that she could handle a couple of months? He's not stepping down because he's an egotistical guy. Why are we pathetic? That's what I want to know. And Of the Land, Lord Makes a Way says Kamala and Obama were making a lot of decisions. Of the Land says, love Isaac Hayes. Black Moses. He contributed greatly to the music and film industries. Yeah, I learned about him later in life. There's a lot of music that I don't know about him though, I'm sure. And Gold Crown says anxiety levels definitely different. A hell of a shift. I just knew the whole damn nation couldn't trip up again. Okay, not with all this information at our fingertips. Yes, we were all anxious. And Gold Crown says restructure. Trump baby, David says, that's right. Other Land says, oh no, guys, Cash Jordan has just put out a video saying that the migrants might flood NYC to avoid Trump's deportation. Say it isn't so. Hold on, let me see what that's about. Oh, it's always something. Yeah, they're strategizing. Of course, these people are going to tell them what to do, how to maneuver, but it's going to be terrible for New Yorkers. I really feel sorry for people that live in New York too, and Chicago especially. Let me see, where was that? You said migrant flood New York City to avoid Trump deportations. Is there a law or something that says that in New York City, under any situation or circumstance, that you cannot deport people from New York? Is that what you're saying? Let's see what he says.
Fox News is projecting former President Donald Trump has won the 2024 presidential election.
So now Fox News projecting Trump currently has 277 electoral college votes.
So Trump won the election, and that's going to come as a big surprise to most of New York, which voted 55% in favor of Vice President Harris. But even though Trump won, many progressive policies heavily supported in New York City itself, like liberal immigration laws, go against the platform he got elected on and may govern from, which means that some really strange things are going to start happening here, especially concerning the asylum crisis.
Look what happened,
President-elect Trump celebrating victory in the presidential race.
This is about 20 minutes ago. The AP declared Trump the winner over Vice President Kamala Harris. The greatest comeback in American political history. I mean, we've never seen anything like this.
With the arrival of more than 200,000 migrants to the Big Apple, New York City has spent more than $5 billion on the migrant crisis.
New York and New Jersey, blue states, how might these election results be felt in our area?
The story of the whole election is that Donald Trump did better in Democratic areas than he did last time around.
A new warning about a dangerous Venezuelan prison gang making deeper inroads in the U.S. The Department of Homeland Security says members of the notorious Tren de Aragua gang are increasingly drawn to sanctuary cities.
I mentioned how President-elect Trump outperformed his 2020 numbers even in blue areas. Let's put a finer point on that. In 2020, he lost New Jersey by about 16 points. This year, he lost New Jersey by about 5 points.
So I would expect that Democrats are going to continue to try and run to the right, they're going to try and run to the middle, and they're going to try and be the moderate or centrist party. But they got some work cut out for them, because I think many people tie the Democrats to the far left.
So Donald Trump has defied the odds and become president of this country once again. But what nobody's talking about is that this totally changes New York City's relationship with our federal government, and it's going to have a massive impact on immigration, but not in the way most people think. Because in many ways, New York City is and remains the focal point of the asylum crisis here in America. And when this crisis first began, Mayor Adams was initially receptive to the idea of thousands of folks coming here to seek a better life. But after thousands came, thousands more decided to do the exact same thing. And as of right now, we've got over 212,000 people who've come to New York fleeing poverty, seeking the American dream. And because of New York City's generous right to shelter rules, everyone's been offered a free place to stay, which is great because it's kept families from having to live out on the street, but it hasn't exactly been sustainable, which is why many of those same families are now being evicted from New York's shelter system. And since that shelter system isn't helping people get jobs, many of these folks are just as homeless now as they were before they moved in, and they certainly haven't achieved the American dream, which was the whole point of this process. But the real reason a Donald Trump presidential victory represents a huge challenge for New York is because this is still a sanctuary city, and as such, it's going to continue to be a destination, not just for people wishing to emigrate to America, but also for people who want to come here because because they can hide from federal immigration authorities. And as you're about to see, New York City could soon become one of the last places in America where folks at odds with our nation's laws will be able to stay. And with pockets of gang activity spreading across our country already, not just in New York.
But why would they want to stay in the winter? Why would they want to stay when there's not going to be housing, when they're running out of time with living in hotels or living in shelters? Something's got to give. I don't know what Trump's going to do or can do, but whatever maneuverings he has to do, I hope that he's going to be able to do what he needs to do to get these illegals up out of here. Again, all this money that they're getting, they can use that money towards a ticket back home. They're not working. They're not doing anything productive. They're just living here and living there and running out of this option and living here or trying to get money to live over here. It's just got to give. But I guess the last stand is going to be people in New York or people in different sanctuary cities, which he claims, Trump, he says he's going to get rid of these sanctuary cities. I wonder if he can do that. I pray that he can do that, because that would enable him to be able to deport them if he could. Let's go.
But in other places like Colorado and Texas, there exists the possibility that New York City, with its sanctuary doors wide open, will still see continued migration, not from well-meaning individuals, but from those who have a criminal past and the desire for a crime-filled future, which is bad news not just for New Yorkers, but also for the 65,000 asylum seekers still living here. So here we are, Trump Tower. That's the front entrance. It's about 12 o'clock the day after the election. And it's not too crazy. No protesters, nothing wild, no megaphones, no crowds. But some people here might start doing that once the new president takes over and starts doing things that they disagree with.
New York and New Jersey, blue states, how might these election results be felt in our area?
In New York, there's actually a number of congressional seats that seem to have gone from Republican to Democrat. And right now, that's the last chance that the Democrats have to hold on to any of the House. They lost the Senate, they lost the presidency. So that could be a big deal nationally.
So according to the official results, as a state, New York voted 55% in favor of Vice President Harris. New York is not a state that voted for President Trump. For reference, in 2016, Hillary Clinton won New York State with 59% of the vote, and President Biden outperformed Hillary, winning over 60% of the vote in New York, which means that even though Donald Trump may have won a stunning victory, and even though this may be one of the greatest political comebacks of all time, he didn't win New York at all. He lost. He lost by just about as much.
I don't care if he lost, but there's something that has to be done to fix this migrant crisis. And I know it's going to be the focus of everything, a part of his administration, if he's going to be able to do what he said he was going to do. New York City also is busing back some of these migrants to Texas after Governor Abbott sent them there. Check this video out. So this is called the Migrant Shuffle. It comes from The Hill. Take a listen to that. Please like the video.
Governor Greg Abbott might have thought that he had the last laugh when he bused tens of thousands of migrants from his state to New York City. But the Big Apple's mayor, Eric Adams, might have won up to him. Adams is sending 4,500 arrivals back to the Lone Star State. Adams' office has issued one-way bus and plane tickets to Texas through a voluntary program that transfers asylum seekers out of the city. For context, Abbott devised a plan in 2022 to deal with the influx of migrants from the southern border. He bused over 45,000 undocumented people to New York City. Since then, the city has been overwhelmed by over 200,000 migrant arrivals. At the peak of New York City's migrant crisis, the city was taking in 4,000 migrants per week.
So they're doing a tit for tat thing. The Texas governor sent the migrants to New York, and New York is now doing the same thing back, sending the migrants back to Texas. This ping pong game that they're playing with the migrants' lives that hang in the balance for them coming over here and causing all this cost going on all over the place, getting them bused, gas that they have to pay, provisions for when they get to Texas, if I guess if possible. But I mean, can you force the Texas governor to do something when they get back to Texas? I wonder. Trump has got to do something about this craziness. This is just crazy as hell.
Prompting Adams to force hotels like the Roosevelt to shelter arrivals.
Adams is also returning migrants to Illinois, Florida, and Colorado. Abbott's office blasted Adams' move and the Biden administration, saying, quote, hypocritical Mayor Adams said busing migrants is morally bankrupt, while Harris called transporting migrants political theater, and they're doing the same thing themselves. Until border czar Harris steps up and does her job to secure the border, Texas will continue utilizing every tool and strategy to respond to the Biden-Harris border crisis. Abbott's plan strong-armed blue cities to turn their attention to immigration, and it caught Florida Republican Governor Ron DeSantis' eye, too. In the same year, he sent migrants up the East Coast to Martha's Vineyard. I guess turnabout's fair play. In this case, Mayor Eric Adams sending about 4,500 migrants back to Texas through this voluntary program. And I think Governor Abbott has a point, right? You accused me of playing politics when I sent migrants to you. Now you're sending them back, and is that not playing politics too?
Well, I mean, I guess is really a legitimate question. Abbott was pretty clear, I think, when he started his program in 2022, that he was intending to dramatize the issue and to specifically send migrants to sanctuary cities, because Abbott's argument was those policies act as a magnet for illegal migration, therefore they should deal with the consequences of it. Now, I do wonder if that's a little different to what Adams is doing in one respect, which is he is basically saying there are so many migrants now in New York City, it's costing us a vast sum of money to deal with them. There are all sorts of other stretches and strains to do with that. If people want to go elsewhere, they should do that, and giving them a one-way ticket. I'm not sure that's quite plain politics in the same way.
I guess it's fair to say, though, that Texas had a similar scenario where they felt like they were dealing with the bulk of the burden of dealing with the illegal migration crisis and having to spend their citizens' taxpayer dollars trying to house these people, feed them, etc. And it's kind of ironic now that Mayor Adams, I mean, even after the first 10,000 migrants came from Texas, threw up his hands and said, hold on, we're in the middle of a crisis. And Texas is sitting here saying, well, yeah, we've been dealing with this for the past 20 years. I mean, welcome to our world.
I think it's also related to that. Sort of worth stressing that New York City has an unusual rule, which isn't the case with any other city, which is that it is legally obligated to provide shelter to anybody who arrives there. And there's been some argument about changing that law because of the obvious consequences when you have busloads of people arriving. There were also arguments and procedures that New York put in place to try to lessen the disruption of the actual arrival itself. Like there were buses arriving in the middle of the night and at weekends, and Adams outlawed that and said you can't do that. The argument, I think, was Texas chartering buses. And
I mean, look at all these people on the screen, and there's just thousands, hundreds of thousands of them all over the place. Wintertime is coming. It's getting colder and colder and colder. We cannot sustain taking care of migrants indefinitely. I hope that Trump does the first thing on the list as far as getting these migrants, or getting an understanding of what he can legally do and handle it as humane as possible. But they gotta go. They got to go. It is unbelievable that this is happening in America, and I know that this also happened in the UK. It happens in other places throughout the globe. This is a phenomenon that's been created by globalists on purpose. It is a form of warfare being used, and they're utilizing that perfectly in America right now. It's just a nightmare. Let me go back up and see what you guys are saying. Please like the video. I see that there's still a lot of looky-loos that are listening, but you want participate in liking the video. I'm going to wrap up this video if I don't see more likes in just about 5 more minutes. I'm going to read a couple of more of these comments and then I'm going to go. You said she looks like a trans now, poor girl. That's right, Pinky. I know that's right. That's sad. It was sad. Alpha Ground says, I said mental health was going to go through the roof a few years back, and now look at these kids. She's not the only one. Plain and simple. This is sad, disgusting, and disgraceful. These people that did this. Yes, it is a sad situation. Other Land says those medical doctors should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law for practicing this fraud. Man, it is so evil and wicked to think that people would want to mess with little kids and have surgeries performed on them and mess up their minds like that. But that's what's being promoted in our society. Democrats are promoting that. This is why they lost the election. One of the reasons why they lost. Been saying it since this stuff started happening, Alpha Ground says. Nicole says, I pray to God that Trump removes this from our system, especially for the children. I have 4 boys. I talk to them all the time about this. Everyone has to watch What is a Female by Matt Walsh. Yeah, I'm glad you talked to your kids. I know it's very frustrating to know that putting your kids in public schools and what they're going to be exposed to now and how they're going to be influenced is not the same way it used to be, that's for sure. And that's what people are fighting against. They want to bring back old ways of thinking, more Bible-based thoughts in the classroom. But they took the Bible out, they took God out of school, and now they replaced it with anything goes. And this is what we fought back against. Luckily people really feel the loss of morals, and they want to reestablish morals back into the government that is lacking in that regard right now. Did you hear about the tranny from Algeria? No, I haven't. Now she's a flat chest woman, another mental health issue. Exactly. It's crazy. Calamity, children don't have enough of the parts to change anyway. That is why some are botched. I know that's crazy. Alpha Ground says the fight for our country is not over. We must fight these issues with our words. Don't let them take your children or kids. Don't let them lock you up for standing in their way when it comes to it. I think that if it gets much worse, that parents should make the decision of trying to homeschool their children or figure out another way of teaching their kids, maybe a personal tutor, something. But the direction that the Democrats were taking us in was just really, really bad. Yeah, I feel real bad for them too, Calamity. The Good Trader says any doctor that doesn't fight that atrocity should be charged with child endangerment. Yeah, it should be. Okay, you guys, I have been on here for close to 3 hours and I'm not really being supported. So what I want to do now is, unfortunately, I have to go. Maybe next time when I come back on, you guys would hit the like button. I know in conclusion that the right decision to have Trump in office coming up this January 20th is the right thing to do. But he still has a number of people that's going to be standing in his way from doing the right thing, unfortunately. And that is people that's trying to be pro-illegal immigrant, which the Democrats are fighting for these illegal immigrants. They're acting like they're more deserving of rights than we do. So it's going to be an uphill battle, unfortunately. Common sense is not so common no more. People just want us to just have anything happen in America and we're supposed to just be okay with it. And if we complain about it, there's something wrong with us. All of a sudden we're divisive. All of a sudden we're hateful. All of a sudden we're Islamophobic and all these other names that they want to call us being, no, you're not blocked, Opium. I don't think anyone blocked you. But I'm going to go. Please like and share the video on the way out. When I come back next time, hopefully you guys will participate in the chat room and also hit the like button. I'm not asking for anything extra. I just ask for a like. Having people watch me is fine. I'm getting used to it, but the likes are not matching the time that I'm on here and the number of views that I'm getting. And it is kind of frustrating. Thank you, Of the Land. You said good live. Thanks. Enjoy your day. Please and peace and bless up mods and everybody. Yes. Thank all my mods. I appreciate all my mods for being here with me. I appreciate y'all dedication to support me despite not really being supported by a lot of different people. But I pray that people will eventually catch up and start supporting me. I'm not asking for nothing else. I'm not doing anything but trying to be active in my community for the right reasons, for the right time. And we should be celebrating Trump's win, but we already know the Democrats are not too far for trying to cause chaos and mayhem to Trump's presidency before he even started. So this is why I showcase, videos about the transgender person that's struggling now. Well, now it's not claiming being a transgender, but it's too late because the little the woman had, well, the young woman had the operations on her chest, her breast. So anyways, it's just a sad time to know that trying to get America back on track is not going to be as easy as that. There's going to be a whole lot of strategy that Trump's going to have to implement, a whole lot of maneuverings, and hopefully he will prevail. But in the meanwhile, we have to support what's righteous, because a lot of us are not carrying ourselves as being righteous anymore. And I think that that's what America was voting on, trying to bring righteousness back, not ratchetness, but righteousness. Yes, so thank y'all for coming through. Please like and share the video, and bless up.